Ashlee Baracy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're traveling with a child, whatever's going to keep them occupied, right, throughout that flight. So if you are catching a flight out of town, know that we do have some low visibility at the surface, but we're not talking about dense fog or anything that would delay a flight here across Southeast Michigan and especially over at Metro Airport. So Metro Airport, 6-mile visibility, but Ann Arbor down to 1 mile. We did pick up quite a bit of rain in some spots over the last 12 hours. Overall 24 hours, but really the bulk of this falling from yesterday evening through the overnight. And so some areas, radar indicated upward of 2 inches of rain. Now those are very isolated pockets. The majority of the area was somewhere between about a ½ inch and an inch, but that cold front now off to our east. And so you can see the drier air behind it. Almost looks like there's nothing on radar, but all of that off to the east of us, pushing through Buffalo as we speak. So temperatures regionally speaking, you can see 50s from Green Bay up towards Marquette. We're still at 70, same with Chicago. So that green that you see on the map would indicate that cooler air mass to our northwest across the Great Lakes, and it really isn't distinctly cooler than what we have on tap. So today's high will likely be into the mid to upper 80s, so just a few degrees shy of that 90-degree mark that we hit yesterday, but you will start to notice the humidity going down as the day progresses. But it's still kind of a soupy, muggy morning. We have the cloud cover over Belle Isle and downtown Detroit, where we're sitting at 71. 68 in Ann Arbor, just shy of 70 in Pontiac, but still right at 70 degrees in Monroe. Temperatures have been pretty consistent since we joined you at 4:30. Now your sunrise, well, not that far off, 6:39 the official sunrise time, and your sunset will be at 8:37, and we will get more sunshine as the day goes on as those clouds give way to some clear skies. But speaking of clear skies, might still have a little bit of haze to it because we have a light smoke layer aloft across the region. Otherwise, your forecast 86 today, slight chance for an afternoon shower. I have to stress, most of us are staying dry, but if we were to see a shower develop this afternoon, it's likely going to be to our east or to our south, not as much to our northwest. So I don't think that you have to scrap any outdoor plans. The great news is, even though we're only taking a little dip in the temperatures, we're going to notice that bigger difference when it comes to the moisture in the air. So that dew point forecast, which is measuring our humidity, shows much drier conditions starting tomorrow. So tracking the tropics, we need to talk about this because this will be a big talker by the time we get into next week. Right now, Tropical Storm Aaron right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Sustained winds around 45 miles per hour. But you see the trajectory of this as we head into early Sunday. This could become a strong hurricane, in fact, a major hurricane at Cat 3. And we have to see the exact trajectory once we get through the weekend. But as of right now, this could potentially reach the Virgin Islands or even the southeastern portion of the U.S. But bringing it back close to home, just to prepare you for the weekend. Saturday should be dry, but we are tracking some shower and storm chances Sunday, which will kickstart kind of an active pattern for at least the first portion of the next work week. So mid-80s today, tomorrow, but then we're back flirting with 90 heading into the weekend. Darnell?
Now, forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
I was going to say, so if you're a kid at heart,
well, just
and
think
you do
about
watch
that.
those younger shows, they might switch your controls.
We laugh about that, but think about how powerful AI is to be able to draw all of those conclusions
in seconds,
and then change settings and things like that. Just think if it was being used for evil.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Well, one thing people don't think about is all the information that you put in AI, they store. That's how they come up with all this. And something that's very,
and then in an instant, they can shoot it right back out to you.
And reading your behavior.
Right. Yeah. All right. Yes. Well,
what do you got in the old weather department?
Nothing compared to AI. But as you look outside, we do have clouds that are slowly thinning out. Looks a little cloudier over Belleville compared to what we have been looking at from our Windsor sky cam towards Detroit. But temperature-wise, we're starting on either side of 70. So we have some upper 60s out there. Now, might be a little soggy in your neighborhood from some overnight rain, but we've been drying out over the last few hours. So I would think at this point, sidewalks have dried out, but the grass still probably not just dewy, but a little bit soggy from some heavy rain, in fact, in some locations. And so you can see the widespread look here where we had upward of an inch, even upward of 2 inches in some pockets. But visibility has also been a concern in just a few little spots. And right now it's more so towards Port Huron. all that leftover moisture leading to some fog formation. Down to 2 miles in Adrian, so nothing dense that direction. But if you do draw your attention to this color contour here in the central part of lower Michigan, that's where we have some fog. So maybe you are going to head out the door and travel north in that direction. You might encounter some low visibility. Though the cold front that created the rain through the overnight, you can see that's out of here. So we have drier conditions blanketing lower Michigan. What also is blanketing lower Michigan? Well, a thin layer of some smoke well into the atmosphere, and that's from the wildfire smoke. So you might get some hazy sunshine as those clouds break. 86 the forecasted high, partly cloudy to mostly sunny throughout the day. But an isolated afternoon shower, a pop-up shower, can't be ruled out. And this would mainly be to our east and to our south. So certainly not widespread activity. I wouldn't plan on seeing the rain for today, but just note there is that isolated chance. Now, what we can plan for is that humidity to be pushing out of here. That dew point forecast shows the drier air. So all that green, that's the moisture that pushes south of here. So Thursday will be much more comfortable, seasonal temperatures, and we'll take some of that lower humidity at least into the first part of Friday before we start to see it build back in going into the weekend. So speaking of that weekend forecast, Saturday's the drier day of the two, and then late Sunday, I would say late afternoon, early evening, we have that chance for some showers and storms to redevelop, and that's going to kick off a more active pattern as we head into the earlier part of next week. So maybe some more widespread activity by Monday afternoon, and I'm not completely ruling out some showers or storms come next Tuesday. So temperature-wise over the next 7 days, mid, even low 80s today, tomorrow, and then 87 come Friday, and that starts that either side of 90 kind of territory through the weekend. But shower and storm chances will cool us back off in the seasonal low to mid 80s to start the next work week. If you're one of those folks that like to open the windows at night, we do dip into the mid 60s the next 2 nights with the lower humidity. So I think you can give that AC a little bit of a break, but those overnight lows are not taking a drastic dip over the next 7 days.
Talking about Old Bay again. We're just discussing Old Bay.
I'm taking a lot of heat for not liking Old Bay.
You're not welcome on Martha's Vineyard anymore.
Old Bay.
Bunch of garbage.
I like really had it. I think it was in like Arizona or something, but it was just regular like shrimp, like cocktail shrimp, like just an appetizer, but it was drowned in Old Bay. And I'm like, what is on this? They were like Old Bay. So I've been like sold on it.
Crab cakes, Old Bay, and football.
Salmon,
that's what Maryland does.
Yeah, it's good. Anyhow,
What do you want out of me?
I want to know what's going on, man.
I'm trying to
redirect. Bring us back.
Right. All right, Local 4 Live, starting at 8 o'clock here. We're actually going to spend some time, what we call dipping into live events. The Michigan Senate is going to have a hearing on the student records bill that was just introduced by Senator Jeremy Moss out of Southfield, talking about trying to keep student records on track so we don't have another situation like we had in Pontiac where kids fell through the cracks and nobody knew they were in that house alone. So we're going to see what they're talking about. That's a hot topic and a big issue because that was a huge
well, that's what
robbery.
everybody wondered is how could that have happened?
Right.
That those kids were just lost that way.
That's because they transferred schools and the records just
Didn't go
kind of
on.
fell apart.
Yeah.
And
We gotta do better.
so now they're trying to strengthen the laws. So we'll see what they say about it.
Sounds good. We're going
forward
to take
to
a
that.
quick break. We'll be right